Okay. This is In Living Black. Welcome back. I am JD, of course. I am your host. And I am joined by Shahem Mclaurin?
McLaurin.
Yeah. McLaurin would have some like car and shit. That would have been crazy. You are a EDMR therapist.
Yes.
Right? And you also have a podcast called Uncancel Culture Podcast.
Yes.
Very dope setup, very dope way of you having conversation and dialogues that matter within our community. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you for also coming on this podcast.
I'm honored, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why?
I don't know. I think like conversations, like I heard about the conversation we're going to have today. I was excited because I think this is such an important and necessary conversation. And I'm always down to yap.
You're always down to yap.
So.
I love that. Yeah, first of all, shout out to T. T is also in the room as well. She's definitely a main, she's the main reason that I know of you for sure, 1000%. But like, I'm glad that she put me onto you and your podcast. I definitely appreciate, a black man first, just speaking on things that matter within our community. You get what I'm saying? First of all, let's get into what is a EDMR therapist? I looked it up because I wasn't too sure what that was, but you could let the viewers know, listeners.
So EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy. Mm-hmm. And it is a therapy modality that focuses on memory and processing traumatic memories. It is not a form of talk therapy. It's a somatic therapy that helps to process trauma out the body. I call it metabolizing. It is very intense. It can happen very rapidly. And yeah, it's a lot. People don't listen to me when I say it's intense trauma therapy until they do it. And then they're like, oh shit, this is really real. So
it's intense for the patient, but is it also intense for you as well?
That's a good question. You do witness a lot. You hear a lot about people, their stories, like some of their worst moments. So that can be heavy. Vicarious trauma is real.
For sure.
But if you have a good therapist like I do, and you compartmentalize, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. So it treats PTSD. What is, if you can say, maybe like one of the worst case scenarios of doing this type of treatment? Like, does someone possibly go through a manic episode right in the middle of the situation?
Well, no, not a manic episode, but there are breakdowns frequently. It can really trigger just like some really visceral responses in the body.
Like from deep memory?
Yes. It was developed around rape and war, like veterans. Like it was developed around them and helping people to go back to those moments and help to, again, desensitize them to it. It's through a process called bilateral stimulation, which is the eye movement. Yeah. It's a fancy way of saying activating both sides of the brain.
Right.
So basically, I do it through either a light bar or tapping. And I don't want to give the people too much because I don't want nobody doing this at home.
No. Yeah, don't do it at home.
Don't do this at home.
No, just go see him. Go see him.
You can re-traumatize yourself. That is very possible.
Wow.
And that's like, it's a lot to build up to when you do EMDR because you have to make sure somebody will be able to maintain that window of tolerance and they won't be too activated to where they are breaking down too much or activated to the point where they dissociate. You don't want to re-traumatize people and just leave people in the space that comes up when you are like going back to those dark memories. But yeah, it's a process. Yeah.
What made you get into therapy first of all, and like what made you get into this practice per se?
Do you know what's really funny? People ask me all the time, what made you want to be a therapist? I actually did not want to be a therapist.
Really? What'd you want to be?
I was a community organizer. I wanted to continue doing that for a long time.
You still do that though. And some of your posts, you still like do that in ways. Yeah.
I could never give it up because it's something that I'm passionate about. Yeah. But I went to school for social work.
Okay.
to better my skills as a community organizer. I went through the macro track, but you're kind of forced to do the micro track whether you want to or not. And when I was graduating, my mentor at the time, I was telling her, like, yeah, I'm about to just go hit the streets again and go back into the organizing field. She said, no. You need to actually get some micro work, and you need to get your boots on the ground and work with people one-on-one so you can really learn and hone in on what it's like to really work with the individual before you can work with the whole
mass
system.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I already had organizing experience, but I was like, why not? She actually set me up with a friend of hers for an interview for an agency. And next thing I know, I'm doing family therapy.
Wow.
And it just like, I know it started off in the big leagues, but I will say it was such a natural fit.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even realize like that I was good at it until like I had so many of my supervisors, my coworkers just saying like, you have like such a natural affinity to this. I started off like with the family therapy stuff. I was working in preventative care, like the foster care system. And I like had a lot of experiences with the foster care system growing up. I was briefly in foster care as a kid, which is part of why I was like, I do not want to go into like the therapy, social work stuff because I know
you ain't want to bring up old trauma.
Yeah.
I feel that.
And while I have been forced to face that at every step of my journey, every single one, being a therapist, you literally cannot do anything without having to face a version of yourself and really have to like dig deep and process through your own shit. You have to clean up your own mess.
You have to clean it up.
But I'm doing family therapy, and next thing I know, I'm just like, wow, this is like really clicking for me. And I would say that also like catapulted like my journey into content creation and doing that because I still wanted to work with larger numbers of people. That's just my style. I prefer a macro style, but like I do love being a therapist. And the first video I posted on TikTok actually went viral because I was talking about like some methods that I use with my clients.
Really?
Yeah.
And was it that the EMDR? It was no. It was
I wasn't
else.
EMDR trained right off the
bat. Got you.
I'm only 2 years into being an EMDR therapist.
Okay.
And even that, like that being EMDR like trained is like just the best decision I think I've ever made.
Tell me what made you go into that practice. You went from a family therapist into a EDMR, but like why? Like
3 years, sorry.
3 years, okay, got you. Now, since the pandemic, everybody forget like what's going on, truthfully. But yeah, what made you go from as a family therapist into that practice? Like,
you know what? Like I will say, I'm the type of person. A lot of people probably don't get it. Some people will. I just let the universe take me. Like I'm not fighting against what's meant to be for me.
Yeah.
And the opportunity just presented itself. I've always wanted to do it. And oddly enough, my job at the time was like, hey, we're offering up this training for anybody who wants it. And it's a very expensive training. So
that's beautiful.
I was like, wow, this is like a blessing. Because I was trying to contemplate, like, how am I going to get the money up?
Of course, to tap in with this.
And it just like happened.
Just fell on your lap.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
What's yours?
I'm a Gemini.
Oh, Lord.
Yo, you know what's so funny? I love Taurus though, man. Taurus, I just don't think love me, man.
I'm a Gemini Venus, so I love.
You're a Gemini Venus.
Yeah.
So most of my chart is in Gemini. All right. Hold on there. But my moon is Capricorn. Okay. Yeah, my moon is Capricorn. But my what's the rising? The rising is a Cancer.
Wow.
Right. So we're all over. We're bouncing.
You got a lot going on there. I'm a Pisces moon.
Oh, you're a Pisces moon, okay.
Yeah, and the Sag rising, so you know. I got a little fire behind
you got something going on. Let me ask you a question. You spoke about the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Is astrology a big thing behind you believing the universe leads you in certain ways?
Yes and no, but mostly no. I do believe in astrology, but it's not. So many people make the assumption that because I talk about it a lot, that it guides like everything I do.
Right.
But no, I truly believe in the power of spirit. My people's
1000%.
always looking out for me.
1000%.
I believe in alignment. In fact, a lot of people would benefit from going with what is aligned with them as opposed to trying to make other things work that aren't. Like that's a major lesson in life I learned too. Like sometimes it's not meant to be like super difficult. And when an opportunity presents itself, fighting against it does not help me to grow.
Right. You feel like people a lot, they're like, this felt too easy for me. Like, you know what I mean? Let me like go away from what that is.
You're gonna get me talking because I don't think it's about fear or like aversion to ease so much as it is a fear of the unknown. And because like an opportunity presents itself and people are not aware of what's on the other side of those opportunities or the work that goes into getting those opportunities,
Correct.
They typically avoid it, but it's a fear-based thing. I actually said the other day, a lot of people live their lives in fear of flopping, but I live my life in fear of flopping. Like I don't want to live my life afraid to try
To try to do the thing.
because I'm afraid of how I'll be perceived. Shame and fear are two very powerful barriers that I think a lot of people go up against when it comes to getting anything they want out of life.
Oof.
I'm not fearless because I am a human being. However, I am someone who's willing to face fear because where I'm from, it wasn't really many options.
Correct.
Yeah, but yeah.
Explain the difference between shame and fear.
Well, I will say shame is a more concentrated subgroup or subgenre of fear. Like shame is specifically the fear of how you'll be perceived. Shame is the fear of how something makes you appear to the larger public, to yourself. Things like that. My earring fell out. Oh, hold on.
That happens. Earrings fall out. You got the accessories going. You killing the game right here.
Thank you. You know, I am big into my accessories. I don't know what this earring keeps slipping out, y'all. I'm so sorry.
You know, it's all good.
But shame is also like if you read any book like that I can recommend, one of my favorite books is Healing the Shame That Binds You. And it talks a lot about how shame holds people back in life. And I feel like as a therapist, every therapist should be reading like constantly, like reading books around the craft, like helps you to hone in your skills.
Yeah. But
I recommend these books to everybody because you can learn something from them, like seriously. But shame is really like one of the great deniers of people's dreams. Like you don't get what you want because sometimes, well, most times people are afraid of how it will make them look.
Correct. I also think like, obviously you hear from everybody that's successful, like the best things is on the other side of fear. And, but it is easier said than done. I think the issue with us, I'm like, when I say us, I mean Black people, like we see things, like we see what we want and where it's at seems so far away.
Yeah.
And the work to get there is the fearful part that's behind it.
That is true. I also think a lot of people are raised in environments where they are conditioned to act against the things that will help them overcome those fears.
Correct.
I think often of the children who are taught when they make mistakes that they should be beat or punished.
Correct.
Or like reprimanded as opposed to taught. It makes those children less open to learning from mistakes because they are shamed because they know that if they make a mistake, they can be beat. which is why I'm like a huge advocate against like
beating your kids.
Like, I don't think it's like very helpful or useful at all.
It's not. As a family therapist, have you seen that a lot? Like, yeah.
So much. I will say, like, I'm a social worker, therapist. I've seen, especially working in foster care, like in preventative care, so many dark things, so many darker sides of humanity.
Does it ever change your perception on the hope that things will be better in the world, period?
The internet does, but the work I do actually does the opposite.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. People are very resilient. Like, and I know, like, we say we shouldn't praise resilience, but people are very resilient. I've seen some kids, like, especially working in foster care, come through some circumstances that the average person just could
not. Yeah.
And still have, like, the most positive dispositions you could ever see in a person. And the internet makes me feel sometimes like, oh, damn, hope is lost. Everything else, like my work in real life, actually like energizes me towards wanting to do more to help push humanity forward.
Is there anything maybe in the future you think that you would obviously, you know, you're gonna do big things obviously with your platform and things of that nature. No, 1,000%. You know, obviously you can though because you have emotion, right? I feel like anyone with emotion or a platform has the power to evoke change, even if it's micro.
I try.
Yeah. So do you see yourself having maybe an opportunity for multiple different kids, maybe from where you're from, Baltimore, or, you know, the city of New York, or wherever the case may be?
So yes, actually, I have a vision, right? And I want this so bad, and I'm way closer than I ever have been. But when I was in school, like I'm from Baltimore, down the hill, like from the hood, first generation college graduate school graduate in my family, mom's side, dad's side, all of that jazz. I know the barriers that a lot of children who come from poverty face when it comes to getting to where they want to get in life.
Right.
I always promised, like when the second I even got my first scholarship to go to school, I said, when I go, I'm going to open a door and I'm going to leave it open behind me. I have nieces and nephews. I'm really close with them. And like my oldest nephew's in college. I'm helping some of the other ones prepare for college and stuff.
Love that.
But the whole point of what I do is so I can make sure that there's doors open behind me.
Love that.
I do see myself in the future doing something. I do have a specific vision, but I'm like, I don't like talking about my plans.
No, don't talk about it too much. Yeah.
But I do want to create programming for children to get what they need and families to have access to adequate mental health care. And EMDR, specifically the trauma therapy, when you do training for EMDR, you have to kind of go through the therapy process as a client.
Really?
It is life-changing.
Damn. So the therapist made you go back into your traumas, your past traumas in your childhood?
Yeah, imagine doing that with your coworkers because we had to practice with each other.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's intense, but I have to say it is life-changing. I learned so many things about myself, and it happens in such like quick succession that you really do. You're forced to face yourself. And I have had moments with EMDR where I was like, I walked away from a session like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was coming across like that.
You know what's crazy? How do you feel about psychedelics in the way of like therapy? You get what I'm saying? Because
legally or illegally? I can't, because I can only speak on one.
I'm only talking about legally.
I can speak in a hypothetical.
I'm talking about shrooms, man.
Hypothetically, I do think microdosing is good as hell, but that's only hypothetically.
You talking about shrooms, yeah? Yeah.
I meant hypothetically.
Hypothetically, you love yourself some shrooms.
Hypothetically.
Yes.
You know.
Nah,
the shiitake kind. to the feds watching, yeah.
I myself thought about really like I don't want to do the chocolate shrooms. Let's put that aside. No, I never did psychedelics.
Really?
Never.
Sneak this?
No, it's not a sneak diss.
Those are
Obviously
pretty
not.
good. You might want to try those.
No, because I want to do shrooms first, like the actual shrooms, right? I want to go somewhere. I want to get my feet. I want to do the shit, man. I want to do the shit that they talk about. But I want to see, like, if you're fighting inner demons, if I can do the therapy within myself, or is that not the same?
I want to say something, but I don't want to be judged.
No, you can't be judged here. This is a living black.
Okay. Hypothetically, because I'm not saying this is me, but I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend. My first, not mine, but like my friend's first experience with psychedelics was actually tripping acid.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm listening.
And for the rest of the story, I'm going to say it's me because it's only right.
Yeah.
I want to give my friend away.
Yeah.
But when I tripped acid, I started out like I'm not going to say I hated nature, but I was always indifferent towards nature. And
Right.
I was always like,
Yeah.
I just like
Wasn't you.
bugs and trees and like.
It's not your thing.
They're indoors. Like, why would I be outside?
Right.
My friend, was running around barefoot, like literally ready to hug a tree. Like, I was like, wow, everything is cycles. Like, and when you learn, like when you really tap in
Yeah.
and you open yourself up to the experience of like connecting to everything, which
Yeah.
shrooms also does, but I think hypothetically,
Hypothetically,
because I never did it myself. But if I did, I think tripping a little bit of acid that was somebody else's first experience.
I've definitely heard the LSD situation or acid. I definitely heard that.
Yeah.
I've watched a documentary based around psychedelics.
Open your third eye.
Hey, it opens it.
Wide open.
And actually in Norway, they kind of perform like mass like murderers type situation. Like people that's in jail for murdering people. They'll give them LSD.
Oh, wow.
This is not a practice.
That's cool.
It's not a practice right now. It's an old practice, obviously, I believe it was 1940s or something like that. Like 1950s, something like that. 1960s, I don't remember what it was. It's old.
That's cool.
It gave them acid, and I guess it like opened their brains into a different level of thinking.
Yeah.
So like now they're more able to be reformed citizens, which is.
I could imagine that giving you a deeper sense of empathy.
And I'm like, why is the U.S. not adapting to this type of vibe? Like with all of this prison, I know you can possibly get
put on a list. I don't want to say it.
Well, okay.
But
You about to get put on a list? What list?
because I was about to say something that could get me put on a list. But
The most wanted?
no, the FBI. I feel like the FBI. Every time I say specific things, they be like,
Yeah.
my
And
FBI agent probably like, this nigga again. Jesus. Yeah.
No, okay. No, but like, okay, I'll say it. But no, I don't know what you're going to say, but I'll say, I feel like with all the people that's in prison, obviously, can be reformed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 1,080%. And yes, through therapy, but then also whatever helps them as far as like psychedelics. You get what I'm saying? We should maybe introduce that if whatever works.
I worked in the juvenile justice setting. Like the jail setting is a whole different
Damn.
kit and caboodle.
So like you was in the juvenile, like you was with the kids that was in
the jail,
yeah. And then how was that for you? Like was that like
That was intense. Like I will say, it was really intense. I had the leg up because this was back in Baltimore, and you know, I walk in there with my do-rag, and they like, who is this nigga? And I'm like, oh, I'm the therapist. They like, you're the therapist? Yeah, so it was easier for me to get them to open up compared to like my white
counterparts?
coworkers and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, because a lot of therapists.
I was about to ask you that too. Like, yo, do you dress like however you dress like in therapy sessions?
Absolutely, I do.
That's fire, man.
Yeah, I mean, some of my clients be like, oh, like they love when I match my do-rag to my outfit.
Yeah.
And I swear, I tell them every time, like, I'm not doing this intentionally. But they're like, but it helps. I'm like, okay. But yeah, no, I'm me everywhere I go. I think it's so important to show up like authentically as myself. Myself has stirred a lot of controversy throughout the years. There have been people like actually I left that job in juvenile justice because my supervisor had asked me, "Do you think you're limiting yourself by wearing a do-rag to work?" I said, "Oh, that's my cue to leave because I'm always gonna like." Because he was like, "It's cool to wear a head wrap, but like not this one." And I said, "Why?" Because it's associated
Because
with
it's associated with black people. Yeah, 1,000.
Yeah. So, and it's no shade if you listening to this by chance, that supervisor, but yeah, I don't play about that. I think it's really important to show up authentically and for me to be black wherever I go.
Period.
Yeah.
Do you show up? Let me ask you this first. Where's your family back? Like your family background is from Baltimore as well?
Yeah. And my grandparents and stuff are from the Carolinas.
From the Carolinas, from the South.
Yeah.
Did you come out to your parents or
Yeah.
did they know?
Well, I came out, but it was my coming out story is kind of funny because I technically didn't come out to my parents.
Okay.
I came out to my sister and she was
and
like,
she told him.
No, she was like, she was like, how are you going to tell everybody else? I said, I don't really want to. She said, do you want me to do it? I said, yeah. She hopped on the phone and it was like a phone tree in like an hour or two, like everybody was blowing my shit up. Like, Shahem, why didn't you tell us? Like,
how old were you?
I was 19. I came out of college. Yeah.
Came out of college. How hard was that for you? If it was hard at all?
It was hard. Yeah. It was really hard. I was always so afraid because I heard so much homophobic shit growing up. Like, and my mom to this day, she swears up and down she never said this. She's gonna swear she never said it to the day that she dies. But I remember specifically one time when I was young, and it was me, my mom, and my brother. We were sitting watching TV, and these like queer people popped up on the TV, and she was like, see, I never had any gay children. Like, I don't have any gay children. And she was saying it like being gay was the worst thing in the world.
The worst thing in the world,
and she swears up and down she never said it. Like, but my family is very accepting. I'm like one of those people who is blessed enough, lucky enough to have had like pretty much my whole family like rally behind me. Like my grandmother was one of the first people who called me.
Yeah.
First thing she said was like, if anybody got a problem with you, you send them to me. I kick their ass.
I love that.
Grandma, please.
I love that. I love that.
A Leo.
Was it Leo? No, Leos be feisty. Yeah. They fiery. Did it change the dynamic between you and your father at all?
Well, that's funny because the only person who actually had a problem was my father.
Okay.
But that's that is such a complicated, like, and this is the thing. I don't really talk about my dad a lot in public, or my family in general, because like that's
family shit. Yeah, I'll do the same, but you don't have to.
No, I don't mind talking about it. It's just like a time and place. Like I would rather do it where I can add context as opposed to like
just saying shit just randomly. Yeah, I get it.
My dad and I have always had a complicated relationship because I know that he knew like very early on in my life that I was queer. Mm-hmm. In fact, he tried to beat it out of me several times.
Damn.
Yeah. He will deny that. If you asked him today, he would deny that. Like, no shade. But I also caught my dad cheating on my mom, and I told my mom.
Oh, shit.
That and a bunch of other stuff led to that.
That created a wedge.
Yeah, and like we kind of like, he's my dad. Like, but like it hasn't really been the same since. I always tell people I've always been a girl's girl. Like, so I will, I saw something, I said something, and like I remember getting lectured by my uncles and my dad on my grandfather's porch, and they were just like, "Why would you tell your mother like that your father cheated? Like you're supposed to be on his side of that patriarchy shit." And I just did not understand because I was a kid. Like,
and you shouldn't have to understand as a kid.
I know my father. Yeah, but that's not the end of that. When I came out, I actually heard whispers. Like my cousin had told me, my cousin had called me and was just like, your father is saying that he never raised his son to be gay. And, me, OG crash out, especially at that time. And I had a boyfriend at the time. Like, I came out, and then like a couple months later, I started dating someone because my father had allegedly threatened my boyfriend at the time too.
Damn.
And one thing about me, I do not play about me and mine. So I picked up my phone, I called my dad, and I was like, what is this I'm hearing about? You got a problem? You never raised me to be gay, and you got a problem with my boyfriend? He said, and this is the type of man my father, he said, I never said that. He said, I will love you no matter what. Like, you, my child. Like, I never said that. He said that shit.
He said that shit, bro. What's his son?
A Pisces.
Ah.
He probably believed he never.
He probably, yeah, for sure, 1,000%.
But he definitely said it. It's cool though. Like, but that was just like a really big moment for me too, because I actually recognized in that moment, like, because that nigga my father was a bully, like, and like he used to terrorize me as a child, like,
damn.
Especially because, you know, I was fruity.
Yeah. You was different.
Yeah, I was always the different kid. I always asked too many questions. I always had something to say. Like, I was always that kid. And it carried over into adulthood. Some things just don't change, y'all. But yeah, like I realized in that moment, I definitely can stand up for myself.
Is there anything, do you think, and I can attest to this, like I
will say, sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
He did apologize, but I would say it was a half apology, but my father has apologized for all of that.
Yo, fathers could only half apologize.
Yeah.
They don't know how to apologize well.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least take accountability for the things they've done. You get what I'm saying? What I was saying, because I can attest to this. What I was going to say was, do you think there's anything that you picked up from your father?
Oh my God.
That you don't like within yourself? That you realize through therapy, if anything.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Where do I start? Like, I'm really not playing. I really was an OG crash out. Like, my father is a crash out. Like, really, like he's a real type of crash out. Like, and
like, fuck it, let's burn it all.
Yeah. My father, when I was younger, would even like, and he's really like of the school of like, if you don't beat their ass, I'm gonna beat your ass. I remember one time he locked me out of the house because I was fighting with some kids in the neighborhood, one of them being 2 years my senior and twice my motherfucking size, and the boy's brother. And he said, you need go out. If you don't go out there and fuck that nigga up, I'm gonna fuck you up. And like, that's like one of the ways he taught me how to fight. Like, I was just forced to do it. And you know, I will say, to his credit, it is nice to have the ability to stand up for yourself. However, like, he taught me very early on that the only way to settle my problems was through physical violence. And he also instilled in me and my siblings a really mean temper when people fuck with us. I am still working on unlearning that. And like the ability to walk away when people are clearly trying to get a rise out of you. Especially as I go further in my own journey. Right. I recognize, as someone who comes from where I come from, who is often the only person like me in a lot of the spaces I'm in, who occupies a really specific space as like someone who is hyper visible and also like publicly like accredited. Like, people try very often to get that like energy from me, and for so long I was ready to like pull up, like you know, but I'm trying to step away from that. In fact, like, what I will say, like, something that really helps with that is having like a solid group of friends around who can tell you like, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Yeah, I completely agree. A couple of things that I've picked up. My father's Jamaican.
Oh. You be treating ladies like you got some sense, right?
I do now.
Okay, because Lord Jesus.
That's really one of my points. Like, I picked up a lot of toxic shit from my father. I did. And my father was in my life when I was younger, but he wasn't there. You get what I'm saying? But he he was, and I don't think I necessarily needed him to be there. My mother like did all the things.
Yeah.
But the things I picked up from him, I realized probably like age 19 or 20, I was like, this ain't how we do it. This makes me actually feel empty inside. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like having sex with multiple women, me like lying to women, me being dishonest. You get what I'm saying about, you know, I was in a relationship at the time. Before I got into a relationship, we was dating. I had messed with like 3 girls at one time while dating her.
Wow.
She found out about it. And I had to beg that woman to like tap in. Like, and we ended up being together for like that 6 years or whatever the case was. But then after that 3 years of me or 4 years of me like leaving this woman,
wow,
I could not deal with a solid relationship. Mainly because I was still in love, but also because
what caused the ending of that? I'm curious.
I felt like we weren't growing. I feel like I was doing this and she was still here. I felt that way. Yeah. And I because even after the breakup, you know how people, we get back with our exes or whatever the case is, we try to make sure work. She had moved to Florida. She had came back, not to come back to live, but she had came back. She visited. We had dinner, and I was like, "Oh."
You remember why you?
I remember why I don't.
But you get reminded very quickly why.
You get remember. Yo, I mean, it probably wasn't even 5 minutes.
Wow.
I was like, we was standing right here before we even sat down. He's waiting for the reservation. Yeah. I said, "Oh, you're the same. You're the same person."
Yeah.
And this is not where I needed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was devastating. However, it just spiraled where I was just like, and I'm like, there's a lot of unlearning behavior of me. Like, yes, I was growing as an individual, personally, like where I wanted to be goals wise, but I was struggling relationship wise. And I credit it to like how I saw my father deal with his relationships with women. You get what I'm saying? So like, it's interesting how we see like our fathers, you know, do like have a everlasting relationship or everlasting effect on us.
No, for real. We are a reflection of our parents.
For sure. What good traits do you get from your mother, or bad traits, if you will?
Oh, Lord. Where do I start? Oh. My mom is like, I saw her put up with my father's shit for so long.
Yeah.
Like sometimes one of the things that I embody from her the most is that I can put up with nigga shit for too long.
So it's a dating pool piss, basically, for gay men as well.
They're men. They are still men.
Gay men are still men. Newsflash. Yeah, 1,000%.
It's the same
It's
shit.
the same bullshit.
Yeah.
Dating pool is piss all around, period.
Yeah.
Are you in a relationship right now or no?
No, I'm single.
You're single. Yeah. For how long, if you don't mind me asking?
I've been single for about a year and a half.
Oh, it's not too long, but yeah, for sure.
A year and a half.
Was your last relationship, was you in love?
I was at the time.
You was?
Yeah.
What do you define love as? I've been having this conversation lately, and
love is,
for you personally, obviously.
Yeah. I think love, like, shouts out to Bell Hooks. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Great book.
Love is not just a feeling. Love is an action. It is a practice. It is intention. It is the desire to see someone grow spiritually, emotionally, financially, like
everything,
all of the things.
Yeah.
And putting energy behind it to execute that and protect them as much as you can.
1,000%
from themselves. Yeah.
I was having a conversation about love, and I've been told by multiple women, I love you. I'm like, I don't think you love me. I think you love the idea of me. You know what I'm saying? You love what this could be, what the concept is.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed that as well When like, do men just be like, I love you?
Yeah.
Just randomly, just outright.
Yes, I've experienced that.
No, but like, are you playing into it though? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, no.
Well, before I have, but
Like manipulation wise, you get what I'm saying?
no, I'm not. I have a dating politic.
Okay, let's hop in.
It's not. I haven't always had it, but like I've developed it where it's like I don't ever want anybody to walk away from me feeling lied to or manipulated.
I love that.
So I try to err on the side of transparency, like especially when it's pertinent to the other person. I try my best.
Try your best, yeah.
And you know, everybody has a different degree of like deserving or needing to know information about you and what you got going on. But if a person's like really attached to me, it's like I'll be very as transparent as I should or can be.
Do you be like, yo, you gotta chill?
I'm trying to think. The last time that happened to me, I honestly, in that situation, it was a little while, but I didn't say anything back. I'll just keep it a bean.
Wait, you just like ghosted them?
I didn't ghost them, but
okay.
I just didn't say anything in the moment. Like it was just like, yeah, like I didn't know what to say.
You didn't know what to say. That if it's just like I just met you last month, right? And then you just openly said that, then I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a side too where I've like said it and the other person didn't know what to say.
What made you say it?
I felt it.
You felt it?
Yeah.
Do you like, is it love or was it in love?
It was love.
It was love.
I wouldn't say in love. Like, it was just love. Like, I genuinely cared for that person and it felt love. Like, I felt love.
I struggle with that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could feel love for you, but I wouldn't say I love you. You get what I'm saying? Where do you think that might come from? What's that?
I'm not gonna say where it comes from because like, everybody has so many. Who are we if not a compilation of every experience we've ever had?
Right.
But I think a lot of people, not even just men, struggle with vulnerability. And I think life is so shorter than we even know or acknowledge.
1,000%.
That I would rather, when I am laying on my deathbed, look back and say every time I felt love, I expressed it.
You expressed it, yeah.
Then I guarded myself so much and I probably protected myself from the potential of being hurt.
Damn. See, I guess the reason why I don't say I love you, because I don't want people to feel like I am in love with you. Because I can just be like.
Specify the difference?
Huh?
You can specify.
I can't specify the difference, 1,000%. And I'm also like now learning how to better communicate my vulnerability. You get what I'm saying? Like I can't say I was super vulnerable in the past. And I don't know why. You get what I'm saying?
I can tell you why.
Okay. It's because I'm a black man in America.
It's the same. Yeah. Honestly, no shade. Like,
no.
It's patriarchy. Like, and it's something that, you know, everybody has to deal with, but like black men have to deal with it in their own way. Like black women have to deal with it in their own way. White women have to deal with it in their own way. White men have to deal with it in their own way. It's like just different, but it's still the same shit. Black boys in particular, when they leave the house, even if they come from a household where love is expressed and you're allowed to be as vulnerable as you possibly can be, their first run-ins with the world is people telling them that they have to like swallow their feelings down.
That's so true.
Yeah. You are picked on like when you are the kid on the playground who says, hey, that hurt my feelings.
That's so true.
You're not allowed to, you know, I got a lot of, I don't know if you got cousins, like I got a lot of boy cousins and shit. Like you used to get like cracked on.
Bro, they be like, yo, why you crying? Like what you got going on? Like what you doing? Like, I agree. Let me ask you a question. When we spoke about it before we started recording, because I do want to get to it. And I've done a lot of damage in my life regarding like the woman I loved and cared for. You spoke on forgiveness, 5 reasons. That shit was funny. There's a video on his page. It's like 5 reasons you should forgive someone from giving you from doing harmful things or something like
It
that.
was 5 reasons why you should forgive somebody even if they aren't remorseful.
Or even if they're not remorseful. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. But then the video started and it was like static. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, okay, I get
There
it.
is no answer.
There's no answer. What's your rule on forgiveness?
So I actually try my best to practice radical forgiveness, but only when remorse is there.
Okay.
I'm pretty open to forgiving people. I believe wholeheartedly that you should practice forgiveness as much as you can when it applies. And I believe that nobody is entitled to your forgiveness, and you do not have to forgive everybody who has hurt and harmed you.
Damn.
Despite what Christianity has taught us, you do not have to turn the other cheek. You do not have to like absolve someone for what they did to you in order for you to heal or process or move forward. Like,
1,000%.
yeah.
What are the things you wouldn't forgive?
I mean, again, I try to practice radical forgiveness. If there is remorse, like genuine remorse, there are very few things that I think would stop me from.
That would stop you
a
from
person.
forgiving someone.
It's
Yeah.
just a matter of like genuine remorse. A lot of people don't have genuine remorse. And that also has to be paired with obviously a change in behavior. But I'm trying to think. That's a really good question. I haven't really reflected on like what I won't forgive.
Yeah. Cause I think about it like all the time. I'm not sure if I could forgive a woman, maybe someone I'm dealing with relationship wise. We've been together for a very long time. We've done the things. I introduced you to my family and things of that nature. And you just cheat on me.
I've had that happen.
You've had that happen.
Yeah.
How did you forgive them? Was it like, were they remorseful, first of all?
Over time, yeah.
Okay.
They were remorseful from jump, but like, I mean, this person did me slime. Like, it was real bad.
Do you want to talk or not?
It was just like,
He's like slime. Like,
they were like going behind my back, telling people that we were in an open relationship for like months.
Damn.
Yeah. And they've met my family. I met their family. Like, we were like
together, an item.
They were talking about marrying me and all that shit. Like, but you know, over time, I was, of course, really into my crash out era when that happened. I crashed out. We separated. I moved to New York from Baltimore. They actually wound up moving around the corner from me.
Shit.
I didn't even know. Like, they were trying to get in contact with me, but I had blocked them on everything and all that shit. Like,
wait, that nigga moved to New York for you around the corner?
Well, he didn't move for me, but he was looking for me.
Oh,
like,
okay.
But
so he didn't know you lived there?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, damn.
He found out eventually, but like, because I'm not trying to do too much. Because, you know, all is forgiven, but like, we actually like had so many conversations once we did eventually reconnect. He apologized profusely. He wanted to try again. I did not.
Yeah.
I still wasn't at the point of like full forgiveness. Like, and then like eventually I realized one day, I won't share all of the details, but I will say one day I just realized like, oh shit, I'm like really hurting this person. And I realized like, yeah, they had hurt me before, but it made no sense for me to string this person along because that was just fucked up. And I kind of like made my exit from their life. I told them I didn't want to be in each other's lives anymore. I didn't think it was healthy. Like, but again, it was all love and it was all forgiven.
Damn. And then in the course of that's like a course of a couple of years and shit like that of dealing with that. Yeah, that's tough. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody do you slime.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to bounce back from, especially when you're the most vulnerable. When he's like, this my person right here. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
And they do some bullshit. How do you find out?
He cheated on me with his friend's boyfriend.
Damn.
And his friend, like, I was visiting him because he went to school in North Carolina. I'm giving away too many details.
Yeah.
If you see this, is no smoke, I promise.
This is a Living Black shit. I'm sorry.
But I was visiting him at school. So I was staying in his apartment and it was like 3 a.m. His friend was pounding on the door, screaming his name. And I'm like, oh, why is your friend banging on your door like that? in the middle of the night. Like, and
Damn, what he did, he was like, oh no,
he was
nigga
like,
shit.
oh, I think him and his boyfriend going through some stuff, and he just want me to support him through it or some shit. And I'm just like, okay, I fall back to sleep. And then I'm like, wait, hold on a second. I'm like, wait. That don't make no fucking sense. Why you ain't go out here to help him?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's your friend for real.
Right.
And the boy had left by then, but like he wound up confessing like to like cheating even while I was down there. So I was, that was when the crash out started. But
What's your crash out?
we don't gotta talk. We don't gotta talk about that.
Nah, yo, that's so funny. I think I'd crash out, but like I've only crashed out probably with one person. It's because they made me so mad.
He cheated on me, came back into his apartment after cheating on me and laid in my arms that night. I crashed out.
Whoa.
I crashed out.
Yeah.
I crashed out real bad.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a real bad crash out.
Damn, he a slime. What's Zodiac? What's his sign?
Oh, you trying to get you want his social security number too?
I just want to know if the niggas are Gemini.
How bad did I crash out? I trended on Twitter.
Damn.
I crashed out.
Crashed out like that.
Crashed out. Yeah, I crashed out.
That's Taurus shit though.
Yeah.
Taurus be crashing out.
But it's only because like and you know what's ironic about this? I always talk about the universe and shit. I swear you're probably not going to believe this, but I told this story before. The day before I found out, like, because rewind a little bit. I had got into NYU already because I went to NYU for grad school. I had deferred my admittance because I was like, I don't know if I actually want to go. And he was talking about marrying me, and he wanted to move to New York for separate reasons. And he was like, marry me, let's move to New York together.
Wow.
I had the day before I found out that he cheated on me, I went to go get his food, and I was in a parking lot. I remember exactly where I was, and I was like, God, please tell me, is this the man for me? And am I supposed to move to New York?
Wow.
Next night, I found out that he cheated on me. I like drove back to Baltimore after my crash out. As I'm pulling up back from the drive in front of my mom's house, I get the email from the job that moved me to New York.
Wow.
Like literally as I pulled up.
God closed a chapter.
Yep.
But opened a new one.
Yep.
And gave you that.
And it was, I was just like, I learned that day, like a very valuable lesson. Don't ask questions you're not ready to get the answer to.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. But we have to know though. You may never be ready for the answer, but you just gotta know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a thing. Because guess what? If you don't ask, it would have ate you up inside. It would have ate you up.
Yeah. I wasn't ready, but he was a Capricorn. I get
He was a Capricorn. Okay. Listen, I also saw you posted like the toxic signs not to go across the Virgos.
I don't beef with them.
Scorpios.
Not them either.
Aquarius and a Sag. Yeah. Those two is like whatever. Sag is I don't fuck with at all. You tell me a Sag, I can't fuck with you. Relationship wise. Can't happen.
It's just a sign.
Nah, it don't matter what it is. Let me tell you why. I've been in situations with Sagittariuses and I was head over heels. And the next thing you know, they gone.
They don't put up with a lot of bullshit, but also they don't like to be caged.
And that's what I found out when I got older. I was like, because I was ready. Hey, you want to be in a relationship? Nah. You doing too much. You doing too much. This is it.
All right.
This is it. Peace.
It's been fun.
I'm like, damn. It's like that.
Locking the Sag down is next to impossible. I'll be honest with you.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And they're so dope, though. They're so dope. They're great people. I only keep Sages as friends and shit like that. You get what I'm saying?
Even that barely.
Really?
Let me not. I'm not gonna do that.
So if you're trying to like, I don't know if you like, are you open to like having new friends and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. But a Sag comes across your life, you're like, no.
I don't actually base. This is what
Yo,
I mean.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, okay,
I don't actually base like who I have in my life around that.
I do. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
But
I do. I'm me. That's me.
comma, I will say that often, like the energies and vibes are harder to connect with certain people
I
who
agree.
have certain placements and signs.
1,000%. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I do have a segment that that we do here at Living Black. It's basically about what happened recently that made you a better man, that made you a better person.
Okay.
You know, what happened recently that made you a better person that you could carry on into this following week, into the next month. You get what I'm saying?
Can I get an example?
So I would say what made me a better person this week, or like what made me a better person.
Oh, like this week.
Yeah, like where?
Okay.
Whatever happened this week, last week, whatever happened last week that you was like, you get what I'm saying? Oh shit. You know what? I learned a lot about myself. Yeah, let me carry that into the following week. Let me be a better person for the following week, for the following month, for the following year. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it stumps everybody. It stumps everybody.
I have one I want to say, but I'm not going to say that on air. Like,
Oof.
God.
Is it deep like that?
No, it's just personal. Like,
It's personal.
I like to keep some things.
No, you got to though. You got to. Yeah.
What else? Actually, I had a really meaningful, deep conversation with my best friend last night. It was really nice. And it just showcased, because when we met, we were both so like volatile compared to where we are now. And it just showcased how much we have grown together. And it's such a beautiful thing to know that not only are people capable of change, but two people can change at the same time and still love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's gonna make anyone better. Like when you like realize how far your relationship has grown and has gone. Yeah, I would say for me personally, is you gotta let go and let God. Right? Not everybody is meant for everything.
I agree.
And not everything is meant for everyone.
Amen.
Point blank period. Without me getting into details. Shout out to you, Shahem. I appreciate you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, tell me, tell the world, tell Living Black, your socials, tell them what you got going on with the podcast and all that stuff.
My socials, Shahem with a 5, so 5 HAHEM.
Yeah.
Like that's my name.
Follow that, man.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
You can find me on TikTok, on IG. Don't look me up on Twitter. But yeah, I have a podcast,
You do.
the Uncancel Culture podcast. It is 1 season deep. Please go check out the episodes. We talk about internet culture, but also culture as a whole. We had some really amazing guests. Our first season, Duran Bernard was on there.
Crazy.
Like I love Duran. Yeah, it was really good. Go check it out.
He's a vibe too. His aesthetic is amazing. 1,000%. Yes. Once again, appreciate you for being here. This is In Living Black. Appreciate y'all. Peace.